السلام عليكم خوتي وخواتاتي المشاهدين، مرحبا بكم معنا في قناتكم المتواضعة أفكار غريب. اليوم جبنا لكم موضوع جديد من سلسلة جديدة اللي سميناها أفضل البرامج. إن شاء الله رايحة تعجبكم. اليوم رايحين نديرو درس حول برنامج اسمه كامستازيا. هذا البرنامج كما نقولوا حنايا شيكور في الفيديو، اللي مونتاج فيديو تاع اليوتوب وصوالح هذو قاع هو شيكور فيه. راح نديرو درس نتعلموه من الالف للياء، اللي تبع الدرس من الاول للاخر راح يولي بروفيسيونيل فيه. لكن قبل هذا نرجو منكم إخواني أخواتي الاشتراك معنا في قناتنا أفكار غريب، وفعلوا الجرس بيان سور باش يوصلكم قاع الجديد من السلسلة تاعنا. دوك رانا في زوج إن شاء الله، وحدة تاع الربح من الانترنت، وحدة وسلسلة ثانية هذه جديدة تاع أفضل البرامج طبعا. وراح نخلو لكم دايما من تحت اللينكات تاعنا وثاني تاع التحميل، نعطوكم منين تحملوهم مجانا بالكلي تاعهم بالكراك قاع نسهلو لكم كلش ان شاء الله. وشنو ما تنسوش اشتركوا معنا وفعلوا الجرس، واذا عجبتكم ديروا جام، اذا ما عجبتكمش ما ديروا ديسلايك، جام باولا كيفاش يقولوا لها. ونطلبوا منكم ان شاء الله اذا حبيتوا طبعا بارطاجوا لا فيديو مع اصحابكم مع الجماعه كاع. واليوم رايحين نعطوكم ثاني قناه جديده في دايلي موشن بالانجليزيه. فتحنا قناه جديده هياك، نخلو لكم الرابط تاعها من تحت عاونونا فيها اذا حبيتوا طبعا. بعد الفيديو ان شاء الله، بعد الدرس رايحين نتلاقاو وان شاء الله يكون عجبكم ونكملوا معكم. ميرسي صاحبي.
Hey folks, this is a Video Vega production, and today's topic is going to be on the new Camtasia Studio 9 by TechSmith. And here it is. Alright, now first, the obvious, the interface. It has been completely redone, and they've also added a bunch of new improvements and new features. Alright, so let's start up here. First of all, if you click on one of the tool menu tabs, the tools will disappear. If you click View, you can have the tools reappear again, because these are considered tools. This is the canvas, and this is the timeline, just in case you were wondering. Now, if I want to get more real estate, I can click again and go over here to Properties and get more real estate. And now you can also click and drag and hold and hide the text. So you have nothing but the tool icons. You have your media bin and the library. And in the library, they've added a whole bunch of new animated backgrounds and icons. But you can add and create a new folder like I did right here with my titles. And you can also go into list view by clicking this button here, and you can also customize this toolbar by adding duration, size, dimensions right here. Size was just added, but I just keep type and name, and I prefer thumbnail view. Annotations, they've added a whole bunch of new stuff here in the callouts, arrows, a lot of Snagit type arrows and speech balloons as well, and some new shapes. Blur and highlight pretty much stayed the same, so did the sketch motion callouts and the keystroke callouts. The transitions now have a video preview, because before you just have sort of like a sketch drawing of the effect of the transition. Now if you hold the cursor over the transition, it'll play a loop of what it does, which is kind of cool. Behaviors. This is all brand new, which is sort of like an added video effect that you can add to your timeline, basically for intros or outros. Same thing with the animations. You have a video preview of that. Zoom and pan stayed the same, but I noticed it's a lot smoother when you're doing any zooming or panning, and even back to scale to fit, which I'll get into once I add something onto the timeline here. Cursor effects, you still have the highlight, magnify, and spotlight, but they've added the left click scope and a target, which is very cool, and a different left click sound, which we'll also get into. And right click is pretty much the same thing, except different sound, different color, you know. Now this right here is a welcomed gift, which is sort of like an onboard notepad to place your text for any punch-in narratives, which is something I do a lot of. Before, I used to have to make a text call out and paste the script into that and put it on the timeline and read it that way, which was very distracting. Now all I have to do is copy and paste some script right here in the notepad and read and record at the same time. So, moving on to the audio effects. Everything now is drag and drop, including the audio effects, which I'll also get into when I add something to the timeline. The palette toolbar, like play button and everything, has been expanded significantly. It's a lot more visual. And if you want everything to snap, go to View and check off Enable Canvas Snapping. And I have the timeline snapping all selected here because I prefer snapping. And down here you have your typical undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, and trim. And they finally, after all these years, put the fucking horizontal resize button up here. Because before it used to be down here, which would conflict with the start button. You would try to resize, but you couldn't, and you'd wind up clicking the start button. Other times, it actually locked up down here, and I couldn't move it, and I would have to either redo or restart or do something to get it out of there. But this right here is a major improvement in my eyes. So thank you very much, fellas. Nicely done. And this is also something I'm not sure an older version had, but you now have keystrokes to adjust the track height as well as the horizontal resizing. Actually, let's go back to the media, and I'll add my title here onto the timeline. And I'll add my project, which is on a video I did earlier today. You might want to check that out. It's on the YouTube downloader. And this image right here I'm going to use. All right, so now I have something on the timeline. Horizontal is Control-Shift plus minus. And again, I'm not sure if you were able to do that in earlier versions, but you can do that, which is very cool. And if you want to add a marker, all you have to do is right-click on the playhead and select Add Timeline Marker. And as you can see, they're a lot smaller. And if you don't want to rename it up here, you can rename it right here. And then just click outside to sort of finalize. One thing though, you want to hide the marker view after you place the marker, because if you don't, this will follow you everywhere you go and you'll just be placing marker after marker. All right. Just a little helpful hint. All right, so let's do some editing here. And show you some of the workflow here. Oh, that's still selected. Damn it. There we go. Where is that marker? There it is. All right. Nice. Okay. Now this is going to be kind of like a demorial, like a half demo, half tutorial, so I can show you some of the improvements and the new additions and everything as I'm editing. So you're actually going to be watching me do kind of like a quick edit of the video I did. Now this is something I like to do. I like to keep the video on top of the narration and system audio because I always separate the two. So I have 3 separate files, one for video, one for narration, and one for system audio. Okay, cool. All right, so let's start this from the beginning. All right, now I want to bring the audio up, so I'm going to select that and click and drag upward. And this is usually where I like to insert a transition. However, I'm going to get into the audio effects here. Now, when I first import a recording, I always want to use the noise removal and the volume leveling. So I'm going to drop that and that on there. As you can see, it says effect added. And if you want to see the effect, just go over here to properties and you can adjust the gain and you can delete right from here. And I think this, now that I just added both of these, I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to bring this up all the way up to the top. See how that sounds? Hey folks, this is a Video Vega production. All right, I can dig it. It sounds pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to trim the fat here. And I also want to demonstrate just how nicely the workflow increased here with all these improvements, because it does run very smooth. And just for the record, I have recorded 5 tutorials and edited them all without error. No glitches of any kind. So again, hey folks, very nicely done. Okay, so let's go to the transitions, and my signature is the ripple. That goes right here. There we go. And I'm not going to use that until after I introduce it. So let's go to hey folks. All right. Let's go back to media. Import media. There is an image here I want to import. Which is also my signature background right there. So I'm going to bring that up and drag that right onto that track. And you can do what you did before. You can lock the track, mute the track, and rename the track. Oh, and maybe for a possible update, if we could right-click and color the track, if that's possible. That would be cool. Another thing also, if we could customize the toolbar and put it right here. Is there a possibility for that to happen? Maybe? Just throwing it at you, fellas. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the transitions and add the ripple to the end of that. This is why I like snapping, because it snaps right to the edge. Hey folks, there we go. This is a Video Vega production, and today's topic is going to be on, okay, extend that so my desktop isn't showing. And you can also resize the canvas by clicking up and holding, or down, but it does have a cutoff area. All right, there we go. So now I can see all 4 of those tracks. The YouTube. All right, and another transition. There's a nice gradient in here. Gradient white, there we go. the YouTube Downloader Pro. And I'll end this with a page roll. Page roll there, and also for that background. And this is an excellent program that you can use to download. Okay, cool. So now let's get into some cursor effects. I'm going to click on the cursor highlight, and I'm going to drop that onto the timeline. And right over here is where you can mess around with the different properties. Here's where you can change the color, and I'll change that to that cyan color or whatever you want to call it. Lower the opacity a bit, and definitely bring the size down. And here's another thing. If you want to go full screen, click the drop-down menu here and select Detach Canvas. And if you go down here, that's when you can go into full screen. Press Escape to get out of it, and then close it out right here. All right, where's the arrow for that? There we go. Click this arrow, and then select Cursor Highlight to have just the cursor highlight effects or adjustments being shown right there. It's also a definite huge improvement as far as workflow is concerned. And left-click effect. Okay, I'll add this left-click target here. Drop that. And let me expand this a bit. As you can see, these little circles here indicate every time I left-clicked. The options are turned off like this. I don't think is accessible. See, I can change the color of that as well. So let's go to red. Can change the duration and the size. I'll make that a little smaller. And I don't know how many rings you can add. 10. All right, we'll keep it on 3. All right, now left-click sound also is new, and I like the way it sounds. All right, that's one of them. Let me just select that individually. Here's the preview. That's for the mouse. This is the laptop click. I like this one. But I'm going to turn that down because it is a little loud. Decibel. And I don't think... All right, that works. Now, I already showed you voice narration. Visual effects, interactivity, and captions I hardly ever use. So I'm not really going to get into that. Sorry, but it's just something I never used in the whole time I've been using Camtasia. And I've been using Camtasia since, I think, the early days of version 7. All right, so let's have a gander at this. Hey, folks. This is a Video Vega. Hey, folks. This is a Video Vega production. Ah, okay, very cool. Now, I want to add my watermark. So I'm going to import media. All right, and I guess I'll put that on this track here. And let's resize, of course. All right, now here's something I want to try. I want to go into full screen and see if I can do some editing in full screen here. And I want to see how it reacts. Okay, so far I can move it. Wow, it's really hard trying to get a hold of these handles if I can. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, now I'm going to press escape. Hopefully it will detach nicely. Yes, and it did. Okay. And I forgot, you can also use your up and down keys to move any call-outs as long as it's selected. Nice. That's also another problem that I had with earlier versions. While I was doing that and I tried to hit escape, it wouldn't escape. And I would have to right-click and, move the picture around just to adjust, or go back to a Video Vega production and to where I was. Okay, so now I have my watermark. I'll drag that to the end. Again, very happy this is up here. Alrighty. That's right. Transition. Ripple on the beginning of that. Hey folks, this is a Video Vega production, and today's topic is going to be on the YouTube Downloader Pro. And this is an excellent... Shit! Okay. That was driving me nuts. And this is an excellent program that... So, let's see, I covered the tools. Oh, the animations. Okay, let's do a quick call out. You can use to download videos directly from YouTube. Let me queue up to a certain point. Hold on. Let me just go through the interface really quick. Okay, right here. Here we go. I want to do a zoom in of the downloader. Let's go through the interface really quick. All right, now you're probably not going to notice from where you are, but the playback is silky smooth. Let me just go through the interface really quick. If you're a Camtasia veteran like I am, you'll definitely know the difference, and there is. It's a lot smoother, whether you're doing a zoom in or a zoom out. Just go through the interface really quick. First, okay, well, that's just me having to do some more editing, all right? But I just wanted to show you how the workflow increased and how well it's been working. And I'm actually recording with Camtasia right now, and it's barely lagging. And as I said, the playback is very, very nice. And last but not least, your sharing. You can customize a preset, save it, and it will wind up right here on this submenu. And you type in your project name, and I already have this set to my screen recordings, not the default within Camtasia, so you can change that within the settings. And I have all these deselected, and if I click finish, it'll render, and the end result is quite nice. So as far as rendering is concerned, I have to give that a 10. Performance, definitely a 10 as well. And I really dig the new look. It's very well done. So there you have it. That is a brief rundown of the new Camtasia Studio 9.
السلام عليكم مرة أخرى أخوتي، إن شاء الله تكونوا استفدتم من الدرس هذا. استفسار ولا سؤال ولا اللي ما فهمش حاجة ولا ما على باليش كاش اقتراح ولا ما عليه غير يكتبوا لنا في الكومنتار. ولمزيد من المعلومات راح نخلو لكم رابط المدونة تاعنا والموقع تاعنا، دخلوا ليها وفيها معلومات واحدة أخرى، وفيه ثاني روابط التحميل. روابط التحميل البرنامج به باللاكلي تاعو بالكراك تاعو كما يقولوا. وتلقاو فيه ثاني مواضيع اخرى، وان شاء الله يعجبكم. وما تنسوش تشتركوا معنا في دايلي موشن وديروا لنا جيم على الفيديو، وبارطاجوا مع اصحابكم، هذا هو الاهم بالبزاف. شكرا على حسن الانتباه والمشاهدة، وان شاء الله يعجبكم. السلام عليكم.